Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you guys how you can make money from the fine arts. Okay, so I talk to a lot of people who are fundamentally creatives at heart. People who love to create art, who love to create music, who love to paint, who love to do creative writing, any of these kinds of things that rely on creativity and that fundamentally have a very subjective value where, anybody can create it, different people are going to think different things, different people are going to value it differently. And most of the time when these people come to me, they have something that they love to do. They have something that really makes them happy, but it's something where they really struggle when it comes to making money with it. And this is the whole paradigm of the starving artist, because they don't know how to monetize this skill set. They don't know how to actually earn the kind of income that they want, or even just earn a side income as a hobby from their art. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to shift that. And it's a 3-step process along with an extra add-on that you could do on the back end. So the first step is that, especially when it comes to selling art, you really need to dive into your beliefs around money. More than any other group of people that I've ever spoken to, artists, musicians, all those kinds of people tend to have more blocks around money than any other group of people that I speak to. I'll give you some examples of some of those blocks. So one of the blocks is rich people are evil, right? Money is bad, wanting money is greedy, any of those kinds of things. You're not going to become something that you despise. So if you think that rich people are evil, your mind is always going to stop you from becoming rich. If you think that pursuing money is greedy, your mind is always going to stop you from pursuing money. In reality, you want to adjust to the idea that money is simply a measure of the debt that society owes you for the value that you've provided to other human beings. And if you recalibrate to that and you stop having these negative associations with money, then it will stop you from having this self-sabotage reaction whenever you get into anything financial, like selling your art. Another negative belief that comes across in this area is people think that they're not worthy of it. They think that they don't deserve to be financially secure, that they don't deserve to be able to have nice things, that they don't deserve all this kind of stuff. That's nonsense. There's no human being who's fundamentally flawed, who doesn't deserve to be happy and doesn't deserve to have what they want to have. That whole notion is nonsense. You would never walk into any classroom and say, that kid over there, he's fundamentally flawed. He doesn't deserve to have a good life. You never do that. So why are you doing it to yourself? It's total BS. There are many other beliefs around this, but fundamentally the first thing you have to do is you have to go in, if you're going to be selling art, especially because the value is subjective, you have to go in and you have to analyze your beliefs around money and make sure that you're comfortable with the idea of making good money for doing what you love. You have to get comfortable with the idea that, hey, I can do this. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing unnatural about this. And you have to come to peace with yourself first on that subject before you do anything else. Now, the second step is you have to decide what you're going to sell your art for. Now, the beauty of this is, unlike commodities or even things that are specialized like coding, the value of art is totally subjective. I mean, you can go to the Museum of Modern Art and you can see things that are $20,000 that aren't that hard to put together, or things really just kind of look like a mess. I mean, who am I to judge, right? Because at the end of the day, it's all subjective, but we've all seen crazy examples of art that has a ridiculous amount of value for something that may not appeal to the vast majority of people. But that's the beauty of it, right? Is at the end of the day, you just have to find the people that it does appeal to, and you could set some pretty high prices as long as you can communicate that with confidence. Because the first person that price test has to pass isn't the customer, it's you. If you don't convey it with confidence, nobody else is going to buy into it either. So you go out and you set a price that you think is fair, that you think is reasonable, and that probably is above what you think is reasonable. And then you find a way to get it in front of people who would be interested in it. And you can do this at galleries, you can do this through private, through just your personal network. You can do this through displaying in coffee shops or stores or anything along those lines, and put a value on it that you think that some reasonable amount of people would be willing to pay. It doesn't have to be a value that everybody's willing to pay. It doesn't have to be a value that the average person is willing to pay. If 5% of people are willing to buy your painting for $200, you're going to sell it. If 1% of people are willing to buy your painting for $1,000, you'll probably sell it as long as you have 100 people walk by. 1%, then you only need one of them, and then you'll probably sell it. So you don't have to go off of what the average person thinks. You do have to make sure that there is at least some non-trivial, non-minuscule minority of people who will buy it, right? 1%, 5% of people who go, that's really amazing, I love it. It's cool if some people really hate it, as long as you have some people who really love it. Now, the third step is you're going to actually get a sale or you're not going to get a sale. Now, if you get a sale, everything's good. But if you don't get a sale, then you have to go to the third step. And this can be the hardest part, is you have to go to the people who are your customers, people who have seen it, who have chosen not to buy it. Maybe you're at an art show and you've had some people walk by and you just wave your hand and say, hey, could I ask, I noticed that you weren't really interested in this. Can you tell me what I can do to improve my art going forward? And you have to place yourself in a position of humility and ask what's going on. And it's really important here to be really open with people and say, hey, be brutally honest. Because if you don't give people that permission, then they'll try to snuggle your feelings. And yes, it can be really, really, really hard to hear negative stuff about art that you love. But it is really important if you're going to create something that's commercializable to listen to your target audience. So you want to go to those people and you want to say, hey, I want you to be totally, brutally honest with me. Tell me what you were really looking for, what really could have made this better. And some people won't know, some people will, but if you don't sell your art, you're going to at least collect feedback. And then that's going to allow you to adjust. That's going to allow you to create another round of art that meets that target. And then when you go back and you try to sell it again, you go to a gallery, you go to an art show, you display it, you're going to have more success because you've gotten closer to what people want. Now, to some extent, at the highest levels of art, you're going to be reading what people want in ways that they can't even express for themselves, but don't worry about that yet, because we're just trying to get you to a modicum of selling your art profitably. We're not trying to get you to the highest levels of art. That's something that is, an artistic skill that is beyond my ability to teach, right? We're just trying to get you to a place where you're feeling good, where you're earning a good income from your art. Now, one complication you may run into at this point is you may find that what people want and what you want to make are different, right? I've talked to a lot of artists who say, I love to make X, but everybody seems to want Y. And that's okay. The best way to handle that is to just segment it off. Just say, hey, this kind of art that I love is a hobby. I make this for me, and that's great. And then this second kind of art, this is the business. This is what I do for other people. And I know I'm going to sell it. I know that I don't have to be super attached to it, but it allows me to do something that's better than working in a 9-to-5 job in an office. It allows me to at least be somewhat close to the art that I love, even if it's not perfect. You don't want the perfect to be the enemy of the good. And making some money doing art that isn't as amazing as you'd like is a lot better than, sitting in front of a computer all day typing data into spreadsheets or whatever it is that you would be doing otherwise. So if it's better than your current job, then, stick with that. Do that, make that money, and then use your personal time to go in and do your hobby. And if you do that, eventually you can scale up this art, you can sell progressively more and more, because there really is no cap on what you can sell art for, honestly. And the more money you make on this, the fewer pieces you have to make that sell, and the more that you can spend time doing the art that you love or whatever else that you want to do. Now, if you are in the position where the art that sells and the art that you love is the same thing, that's awesome. You've got all your problems solved. You just keep getting better and better and better at that. You'll make money, you'll do what you love, life is good. And very often that's doable as long as you deal with that upfront internal mindset issue around what you're worth and around money and all those psychological blocks there. And as long as you learn to go out, put yourself in front of people, speak with confidence, and be persuasive in this art's gonna look beautiful in your home and all this kind of stuff that people use in real estate and all this kind of stuff to get people to forward pace themselves into enjoying your art and loving your art and seeing it as something that's valuable. Because at the end of the day, the value starts with you, right? Human beings, when they don't know, and by definition you can't know the value of art, they take their lead from other people. They take their cue from other people. And if you don't believe in it, they won't either. So I hope that this was helpful, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're learning to make your own business out of selling your art and you want to go full-time, you want to start your own business, or any other kind of business where you're leaving a corporate job, something that you don't like, to fulfill your passion, and you got that spark, you got that enthusiasm, those are the kinds of people who I absolutely love to work with and I absolutely love to help. And so for you, if you're one of those people who's passion-driven, who's purpose-driven, whether it's art or anything else, then I do have a free presentation to help you in your journey. You can go check it out at www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. That's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next video next week, and have a wonderful day.